Hey, welcome to the Superpower Radio Show with your host Brenda Major and
Mia Dawson.
Mia, we were just talking about how much is going on in February. So yes, we love that it's Black History Month. We love that it is the love month. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's all about love. And I'm going to actually pick your brain a little bit too. But I
Okay.
want our listeners and our viewers to know that we know that in your heart of hearts, you want the best for your superpower
Oh yeah.
person, your
Oh,
superpower
mhm,
kids. And
mhm.
as they start to grow and become teenagers, maybe you want them to experience, relationships.
Yep.
And I think you probably have hopes that they're going to grow up, meet the person of their dreams, get married, maybe have kids.
Yeah. Most
But
likely.
then, Mia, help us out. Do you also worry about heartbreak and heartache and all of that for Neo?
I worry about getting taken advantage of and
Hmm.
him not understanding manipulation. So
Hmm.
I think heartbreak, I'm like, dude, that's gonna happen. I tell the youngest that it's gonna, I mean, that happened to you and I, that's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I don't really, and sometimes that's the most wonderful thing that can happen is heartbreak. Because the Lord saved you from some stuff. But
Yeah,
um
sometimes.
um that would be my prayer that I pray constantly of no taking advantage of and not getting manipulated because he
Yeah.
doesn't understand. Because again, he thinks everybody is his friend. And I know
Mm-hmm.
you've heard that for a lot of them. They think
Yeah.
everybody's their friend and everybody's cool. And that is the hard, that's probably, yeah, that's the hardest part.
Dealing with that, yeah, manipulation.
The
So,
manipulation and the taking
yeah.
advantage and the,
Hmm.
um,
So I'm curious because I know like dads really want to guard their daughters and, lock them up so they can't date or anything. But I'm thinking about Neo, man, and he's a teenager. Have
yes.
you have you and Stefan talked to him about dating and relationships, or how do you think that's going to happen?
No, we have not. He is very interested right now in friendships. He is attracted to girls. Lord knows it because he, oh my gosh, yes,
Okay.
he is. Um, but I still think he understands it as a friendship as opposed
Mhm.
to it being romantic. I
Okay.
can say that as opposed to it being romantic. And he's very like, okay, yes, I like them. And then I'm going to talk to him. And then I need my time by myself. He's very matter of fact. So he's not going to want this whole like, we're hanging out, we're doing
Hmm.
dinner, we're doing because at a certain point, he gonna want them to go. So
Mm.
he only wants it for the moment that he wants it for. He don't want he don't want it for the and we even with friends like that he has at church.
Yeah.
Um, he's never said, or we've never said, he's never said I want to go to their house or they come to our house. He's never said that. And he sees
Okay.
Isaiah going back and forth to people's houses.
Yeah.
And he's like, good, but he wants Isaiah out so he have his time to himself because
Wow.
he's never said, and I know he knows that. I know he understands that concept. So
Yeah.
I know he knows that, but he's never said, hey, I want to go over somebody's house, or even if they came over to our house, he's had some, he at a certain point, he wants them gone. Like he'll find a way like, hey, it's getting late. Even my friend, if my friends come over, it's getting late now. It's 11 o'clock. It's time for you guys to go. So
Wow.
So he
He's doing
doesn't.
the Martin thing.
He's
Everybody
doing
gotta
the
go.
He is doing the Martin thing. He is doing the Martin thing. So
Wow.
he doesn't. So right now, to answer your question, I think he really does want friendship when he wants it. Like at church,
Okay.
He's been sitting by some young people at church.
Hmm.
And they pay attention a little bit, but they don't all the way. That kind of breaks my heart. And I'm kind of being
Oh,
mama bear, like
sure.
you better not do anything because pastor's going to be upset because I'm gonna make a scene in this church. So I so um, but they're not rude. They're not rude.
Right.
But Stefan and I know they're not being intentional and not giving him the attention.
Okay. So
Does that make
they
sense?
may
Does that
not
make sense?
really, yeah, maybe they don't regard him yet as somebody who they would really hang out with.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct. But they're
oh,
not rude. They're not
okay.
rude and they're not none of that. But and then still with him, so he'll
Mm-hmm.
hang out with them at the beginning. When pastor starts getting to the end of the service and it's calling for the benediction, he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be in that presence and he'll leave them and go do what he needs to do. And then he won't talk to him probably for the rest.
Okay. So he's not really affected by it.
Not really affected by it. I think Stefan and I see it,
Right.
but
You are, yeah.
he's not really affected by it. Because again, at a certain point, okay, I've sat by you guys, I've listened to your conversation, and now I'm done.
Yeah. So
So
and I guess in a way it's kind of like a little like a buffer for him, like,
it is.
that he's
Yeah,
not
you're right.
internalizing it. I noticed today at the community center, he came up and
Yes.
he said, Miss Bunny, are you ready for Valentine's Day? And
Oh,
I'm thinking, knowing that we were going to do the show later, I was just
mhm.
curious about his thoughts on Valentine's Day. And I said, yeah, I think I'm ready. Are you ready? And he said, yes. I said, so how are you going to celebrate Valentine's Day? And he said, uh, I'm going to be here. We're going to have pizza, right? Like, yeah, they're going to have treats and pizza. And I said, do you think Valentine's Day is a special day? And he said, yeah, because everybody's going to be here and it's a party. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He sees it
So
as a
it's
party.
not, yeah, he doesn't see it that way. Now we had all the kids to do Valentine's and he did one, and we even did an exercise with them where they got to write down what they love about themselves. And
Oh,
yeah, so
that's
they all
cool.
did that. So I mean he gets that part, but he's like you said, he's not down for the romantic part.
Yeah, he didn't get the romantic. And even when he says like there's a couple girls, he's like they're cute, and he's like yeah they're cute, but he doesn't see it in the romantic. It's not the romantic sense; it's the friendship sense. And then it's like okay, we're done. It's cut off. I like you, but then you need to leave. Like he's
I
not.
hear you. I hear you. Now
So yeah, yeah.
your almost 10-year-old gets it.
Oh yeah, he really. Oh my gosh, he the one we got to watch. He's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
yeah.
I asked him
Yeah.
about his little Valentine heart that he made. I was like, who is this Isla girl who you did this Valentine for? He was like, oh, Miss Bunny, she's cute, but she's too young for me. I was like,
Yeah.
what? She's like, she's only 7. I was like, okay, are we even having this conversation?
See,
Totally different situation.
see, see.
Totally different.
Yeah,
But
he has a lot of people that he could possibly choose from. Like it's yeah.
yeah,
He understands completely. Believe
yeah,
me, he understands
yeah.
the whole entire thing.
I think I'm learning some stuff from him.
Yes, yes.
So you know what? I was checking out a couple of books, and then we're going to talk about one of our favorite shows. But
Uh-huh.
um, this book is called The Autism Relationship Handbook, and
Okay.
we're going to have it posted on our website so you guys can check it out there and get some
Okay.
more information. But it's written by Joe Beal and Dr. Faith Harper. And Joe Beal, he's really becoming more popular because he is on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
For the longest time, well, one, he wasn't diagnosed, so he wasn't sure what was going on.
Oh.
And then he didn't know how to, it's almost like how to come out. So
Oh.
but
Okay.
so it's
Okay.
his journey of discovering what's going on with me that
Okay.
that has really attracted a lot of people who are also trying to figure it out, adults with it. And then
Okay.
another book that I just really like, it's called Same But Different, Teen Life on the Autism Express. And this one was written by Holly Robinson Pete with her twins, RJ
Oh,
and Ryan. And RJ, her son, is on the spectrum. And
did he
so
have input in it?
he did.
Did our he did.
He
Okay. Okay.
did. He
Okay.
did. he and Ryan, I think, have more input than Holly does because
Oh,
they really wanted people to know what it's like being a teenager, period, first of all, and then
okay,
being a teenager who is also on the spectrum.
okay, okay.
So
Well,
yeah, so there's some comparing and contrasting. This is what we really want people to know about, how we deal with relationships and how we think about relationships. So
cool, 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 cool.
yeah. So you turned me on to the Netflix series Love on the Spectrum.
My favorite. Yes, 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 yes.
I know you love it. What I want to know is what do you like most about it? What is the draw for you?
That they go through the same stuff that we go through.
Mm.
Like they have the same thoughts and issues that we go through. It's just that now some of it's kind of like, dude, you don't like her because she doesn't like trucks. But
Yeah.
stuff like that, he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't eat the same way with the fork. I mean, we got those type of weird type of thought patterns too.
We do.
Or he smacks too much, or she doesn't wear makeup, or she wears too much makeup, or I don't know so what it told me was, well, hey, wait a minute. They have the same thoughts and they go through the same kind of things that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
They think the same weird kind of quirky things that we do. It's just that they have to process. I think the process is different.
Yeah.
But they had this, that's what really draw, because I don't think I thought that. I thought it was going to be completely different. And
Mm.
I'm like, I know a couple times they like somebody and then they'll cut it off. And
Yeah.
we do the same thing. Okay, I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. I've talked to you 4 months, 5 months, I'm
Yeah.
done.
You know
They're
what?
more matter of fact, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
They
they can be
don't
rude.
drag it out. They
Yeah,
don't
they don't
drag it
drag.
out. Like we may be, compromising and well,
Yes,
he's not that bad. He's not that
yes,
annoying. And it could be months, girl, it could be years. You could marry him
yes,
and then decide, oh my God, okay, I can't take this anymore. But they
yes,
they know what they want. I think that the thing that cracks me up about the show is because you get all kinds of emotions, but when
yes,
they're about to introduce two people and they talk about what their likes and dislikes are, like she doesn't like, people who smack, or, she doesn't like bugs, or she doesn't,
yes,
or he doesn't like people, like you said, like people who use their fork the wrong way. It's just,
yes,
but they
yes,
but they have a clear idea of what they like and don't like, and they don't
yes.
they don't change that. They don't
No.
compromise that.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And
So,
you're right, it's really quick. Like, okay, I figured it out. You're not the one. So
mhm,
I'll be like, well, dang, wait, just maybe after a couple times, that's what we do though. We'll compromise.
we
Okay,
will.
maybe it'll get better later, or maybe,
Mhm.
and they like, no, I date. We can't date anymore. I'm going to go on to the next person. So
Yes.
that's where it's
Yeah.
completely different at, because I think they don't understand. You got to give and take, and there's got to be some compromise. And
Yeah.
Neo, I can see that happening with Neo. If she doesn't do a certain thing, he's
Yeah.
gonna be, you know what, you're at, he gets on me. One of his pet peeves right now is the calendars. I know you know that there. If
Oh
those
yeah.
calendars are not turned on the
Yes.
right month when it's supposed to
Oh yeah.
be, it's a whole situation going on.
Oh yes.
And if he's at a house and he's married and she don't have, I mean, he gets on me. He's like, Mom, you're way past. You need to get the February. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I just, I do see I do see Neo in some of the characters. I'm just drawn to some of them, like this poor guy Michael. You just really want to root for him. You really want him to find love. And
yes.
what I wasn't expecting is that I was getting emotional. They don't seem as emotional as the people watching the show.
No,
I get
they don't.
emotional.
They
And the ones that find true love, like the couple that got married, I'm cheering for them. And it's almost like you want so much for them because you're watching, you almost want to pull words out, like they're
yes,
on a date,
yes,
and they've
yes,
because they have a relationship coach on the show, so they've been prepped about, well, here's what you say if there's
right.
some bedtime, and here's what happens here, and they'll be right on the verge of saying something, and then they can't, or they'll,
Yes,
they'll
yes,
have a
yes,
little
yes,
panic
yes.
attack, and you're going, oh, I'm sitting at home going, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And it just, I wasn't expecting to feel so emotional
Oh yeah,
watching them.
you're drawn into them.
Yeah.
You are drawn, and you're like, you want them to have the relationship you want, and then I know a couple of them, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna let this go. They're not gonna stay. Like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
go back and call. And so,
Mhm.
um, they're definitely we're definitely the same, and I mean, meaning neurotypical. We're
Yeah,
definitely the same in that manner, but they're not gonna waste any time. They're
right.
not gonna waste any time. Like, we're not getting ready to be in this 4 years, and I knew I didn't like you second
Right.
time,
Well,
especially
and
when they're doing that speed dating. I'm like, they play games.
yes.
Ain't the one. He ain't the one.
Well, and I think they get the concept of, I want to be in a relationship. They may not
Yes.
know all that's going to happen, in terms of
Yes.
compromising, but they all seem to, at least on this show, they all seem to really want to be with somebody. They want
Yes.
somebody
That's
who
very true.
gets them. They want somebody who, they can see life with. And like you said, yeah, when it turns out, okay, I guess we're just going to be friends. But they really did want that long-term
Did
relationship.
you think that they wanted that? Did they understand they're going to be? Do you think, from what you've seen, that they're going to
Mhm.
be sharing their space, their time, the bathroom, the kitchen? Do you think that, because some of them did not want their space? Do you think they understood what that really meant? Like, they're at home with you all the time, and you're in the car
Yeah,
with them. Do you
I
think
am
that?
gonna say no.
Okay, 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 okay.
And even the couple who got married, he's the bowler. And so if he's
Yes,
not actually bowling, then he's watching video games of bowling.
yes,
And
yes.
she doesn't seem to mind, but at least she's not saying that she minds, but he
Right.
is, when he's not talking to her, he is glued to, that video. And
Yes, 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 yes.
so, yeah, and I do think they almost are probably going to need coaching throughout the entire relationship,
Right.
because they have those idiosyncrasies that say,
Yes,
I
yes,
want things this way and I want things that way. But but
yes.
but Mia, we are the same way.
We are. We are. We are. That's
We
very
are
true.
the
We are.
same way.
We are.
It
That's
is
very true.
just, so it's just been, I started watching and then I just kept watching. I was like, well, I
It's
wonder what
addictive.
they're gonna do.
It's addictive. It's
It
addictive.
is. It
Yeah.
is. But I do think it should be encouraging to some of our listeners and viewers to know that, yes, your super kid is going to grow up and they may experience those feelings and they may not know exactly how to express them, but when they do
Mhm.
want to be in a relationship, they can be in a relationship.
Yes,
So
they can.
don't think because, they are neurodiverse that it means that they're just going to be by themselves, because
Yeah.
there are people out there, and the interesting way that they hook up, which I kind of love, is that they are not superficial in terms of, what the
No.
person looks like,
No.
or yeah, which they get right to whether that person gets them or not.
Yes. 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 Do
So
they like? Yes, you're absolutely right. They're not, because some of them I know in a couple other seasons there was an attraction, but you're right. The attraction was not the purpose of the situation. Like, did you like that I liked dolls, or did you like that I like
yeah,
dinosaurs? And if you don't like that I like dinosaurs, we have nothing else to say to each other. I mean, that's how
yeah,
they didn't care that he or she was
right,
handsome or beautiful. They just didn't care.
right.
So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's a fun show. It's an
It is.
emotional show. I
It
think
is.
it's an encouraging show, if you're watching your teenager growing up and your fear is that, oh my God, this kid's going to be sitting in my house forever. He or she may not be, because
Yes,
believe me, there's some opportunities for love out there.
it sure is. It sure is. And I'm
So
kind of glad that the coaches controlling it
Yeah.
as opposed to them getting on these dating sites.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I would have been fearful if Neo was getting, I would rather have a coach that kind of coach and she kind of set up and you kind of checked it out, as opposed to, not saying you couldn't get anything out of there, but I would be more fearful of a dating site.
Yeah.
Because again, they don't know different, it's hard for them to pick up different clues. And
Exactly.
I'm glad that she's kind of in the mix of them setting it
Yeah.
up and putting them together,
Yeah.
as opposed to a dating site.
Yeah. And you know what? And I know you didn't know that you were giving me the perfect segue to this book.
Oh, cool, 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 cool.
And it is called Friendship, Love, Autism. And
Oh,
it
oh,
is I got it Saturday and I love it. I'll tell you why. It's written by a married couple, Michelle and Andrew Preston.
okay.
They met, they both swiped right. So they met on a
Oh,
dating site, but girl, he didn't know he was autistic and she
oh,
didn't know he was autistic. And so the book is how they are discovering about each other, how they make these adjustments, and how and what happens. And I'm not even up to that part yet when they find out that he is autistic and how that may change the relationship. But just as an example, they went out with some of her friends to one
okay.
of those escape room situations.
Oh,
And
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so she asked him if he wanted to go, and they live in Canada. So the weather was bad. I don't even know why they went out in the bad weather, but the weather was bad. So they asked him to drive because he has a truck. So
Okay,
they
okay.
took the truck, they got into the safe room, and I'm thinking maybe he would freak out being in the safe room, but he didn't. Um,
Oh,
he just, and they were terrible at the safe room. So he suggested, well, after they come in, because you failed the test, they come in and they explain the clues and everything. So then he
hmm,
said, well, let's do it again so we don't feel like we failed. And since we know what to look for now, then we can do it right. So they all decided they were going to stay and do another one. And just
okay.
before that, he goes, I'm hungry. I'll be right back. So he
Uh,
left them, went to McDonald's, didn't ask them if they wanted anything. He
uh,
ate at McDonald's, came back. So she
oh,
was in the
he
book,
ate
she's
by he
saying,
ate by himself.
yeah, she was
Oh,
like, he didn't even ask if we wanted anything. She said, I really would have wanted a cup of coffee. I just thought that was odd. So he came back, they did the safe room, they
okay.
figured out the clues, they did well, but then there's this snowstorm. And so he drives everybody home. Well, in the snowstorm, it was terrible out there. It shut down some of the highways, and there were like over 200 accidents. So they took this side road home. Now they're all like scared to death. He's totally calm. So
Wow,
she describes
wow.
this truck that's getting ready to really almost slam into them. And he just drives up onto the median right out of the way of the truck, and this huge truck, and then he just calmly drove them all home. So when they all got home, her friends called her and they were like, who is this super dude that what is his deal? So now they don't care that he didn't give them any food. It's like he just
Wow.
thinks differently and
Okay.
does things totally differently. So,
Wow.
so
So are they married now, or are
they
they just
are married
they are
now.
married now?
They
Okay.
are married
Okay.
now. I'm not to the point where they figured out when and how, but the cool thing about it, and I would say, um, for people who are interested in this book, I would say buy the book, because instead of listening to it, because there are QR codes that you can take a picture of on your phone, and then it'll open up photographs of them, so you see whatever chapter
Oh.
you're in. She's talking about this goofy hat that he had, and she bought him a new hat. And so you go onto the QR code and it shows them in, him in the hat, and them on
Oh, cool.
vacations. And so it's really like you're living their life through their
Through
story
the,
and through
yeah.
their
Yeah, yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
Oh,
just a
cool.
super cool, book.
Cool, cool, cool.
So, and I know that there are some good movies out there for people who want to just really, and everybody wants to see themselves in a movie, I would think,
Yes.
or
Yes.
somebody who they can identify with.
Identify with. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Very much so.
we talked about some Christmas movies, but then
Hmm.
I came across one called Please Stand By, and it's
With Dakota
um,
Fanning, huh?
yeah,
Wow.
that's that one.
Okay.
Exactly. So I have not had an opportunity to watch it yet, but I
Okay.
do love her. And
I know.
yeah, and I love the way that they talk about how she just thinks differently. She tries to figure people out. And she goes on this journey because she wants to get her script into a screenwriting competition. And so she actually leaves the home where she's staying. It's like a care home for
Hmm.
special needs kids, and she ventures
Hmm.
out on her own so that she can go and enter this screenwriting competition. So, again, it gives you hope because you see that, they can become independent and take
Yeah,
some steps that even neurotypical people wouldn't
that's
necessarily.
very true. Yep,
Yeah.
that's very true.
Yeah, and then the other one I've heard a lot about this one, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and it's stars Tom Hanks, and this is a really interesting journey. A kid whose father dies during the 9/11 attacks, and this neurodiverse kid sets out to find clues because he believes that his dad left him a final message. So you get to go on
I
that
thought I
journey
started
with.
watching that and I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, Cassandra Bullock's in it.
Yeah.
I think okay,
Yeah.
I gotta go back and
She's
watch
the
it.
mother. I'm
I don't know
thinking the
why. I don't know why. Okay,
I'm
yep. I
thinking the
remember hearing
same
that.
thing.
Yep.
I'm
Yes.
thinking the same thing.
Yes.
So I cannot believe we're already out of time.
Oh my gosh. It goes
But
by
I'm
so
gonna but
fast.
I'm gonna ask you, what do you want our listeners and viewers to know this Valentine's Day?
I'm actually gonna do another thing. You know, when I do my Wednesday stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna, and it's on Valentine's Day. I'm gonna talk
cool.
about. I want, especially for the parents, moms and dads, to
Mm-hmm.
know to find love in their superpower kid, find their own space in there. I think sometimes mom and dads, especially,
Mm-hmm.
at least I know, I don't think I know, will argue about how to find love with that kid and they kind of want, okay, you do it this way, I do it this way, but then you're kind of
Mm-hmm.
interfering on each person's
It's almost like
way
conflicting.
of loving the kid. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Well, so it's
not
about love languages again, I would
it's
think.
about love languages again. Our
Yeah.
pastor talked about love languages this
Yeah,
past
he
Sunday.
did. Mm-hmm.
And so I would want to say, whatever you have with your superpower, let that be unique. If mom and him or her, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's for you. And if dad has something, that's for him or her. And
Yeah.
don't kind of impose on each other's or make or argue about because you don't do it the way that I want you to do it, or
Right.
you don't have the relationship the way I want you to relationship.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that being in a place of tension, of kind of like, hey, I do it this way, okay, and that actually happens in neurotypical households too.
Indeed, it does.
The
Yeah.
mom
I was
bathes
just
the kid
thinking
this
that.
way, and the dad has to no, the dad's not going to bathe the kid. Just stop it. There, He's not going to bathe the kid like you do, and so kind of, especially with our superpower kids, I want them to know, find that bond and that commonality and that love language
Yeah.
between your child and you, and don't kind of feel bad or argue or impose on the other parent if it's not the
Mhm.
same or if it's not the way
Yeah.
that you want it.
Yeah. And I think that's a perfect way to end the show because, kids want love from everybody who's accepting of them.
They do. They do.
We all do. So
Yes.
yeah, just relax into it. You can't do it wrong. You can't love
No.
wrong.
Yes. I think yes.
As
Yes.
long as you're
Yes.
doing it and
Yes.
your superpower person is receptive to it, I think
Yes.
it's absolutely right. So
Yes.
we're gonna sign off for now, but we thank you guys for sharing this time with us as we
Yeah,
talk about love. We hope that you are encouraged and know that your superpower kids will find it.
they will find it. Yes, they will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we will talk to you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.